All right, for the third time, which I think is a record, unless Jesse Eisenberg's been on 3 times, which I don't think he has. Joe Manganiello, you know, fuck it. No, you hold the record. You're the record holder with most appearances on this show by somebody who doesn't work at this company. How are you doing?
Thank you. I'm going to have a belt made up, and I'm going to carry it with me into every interview.
That's perfect.
Perfect. Can't have someone take it from you, though.
Yeah.
Do like a Hell in the Cell match with Jesse Eisenberg.
Yeah, me and Jesse, ladder match, briefcase match, steel cage. Let's go.
Yes, perfect.
Let me tell you something, Eisenberg. Oh, yeah. When Deathstroke gets his hands on Luther, the cream of the crop. Yeah.
Jesse Eisenberg cutting a promo for WWE isn't something I want to imagine. As much as I love the guy, phenomenal actor, I don't know if he can do that.
That would be quite the tabloid headline. Joe Manganiello beats up Jesse Eisenberg over podcast appearance. Yeah.
Over podcast beef.
We got a couple things to talk about today, but I will note off the top, I feel like we talked to you in January, but your hair is back to, I think, what we're usually used to seeing with your hair. How are you feeling about the hair?
Yeah, it's back to a normal length, I think. It's not really so much about what I think about my hair. It's how does my wife feel about my hair? That's really the most important factor in this conversation. But I love this past year getting to, I think I went through just about every badass cool hairstyle you could do, other than maybe like the Keith Flint of the Prodigy, like reverse mohawk. I didn't get that.
Let's open up with Shoplifters of the World. We'll give a little synopsis here. One crazy night in the life of 4 friends reeling from the sudden demise of iconic British band The Smiths, while the local airwaves are hijacked at gunpoint by an impassioned Smiths fan. Now we're talking about 2 movies here today. I think our fan base, I think everyone knows what the Snyder Cut is, but for those who may not know about Shoplifters of the World, fill them in. March 26th.
Yes, with 20 Smith songs, most of which have never been used in film and TV. Wow. So if you're a Smiths fan, you're going to love it. And I also, it was interesting watching the kids that were in the cast get introduced to the Smiths, some of them, and watching kind of the light bulb go on in them and seeing the obsessive nature that the Smiths bring up in terms of their fans turn on. And that was really fun. So I think it's going to bring all this music to a whole new generation. And my part's really fun. I play Full Metal Mickey at KISS 101 Denver. And I'm in the middle of playing a Bark at the Moon by Ozzy. And I get held up at gunpoint by this crazed gunman who wants me to play Take Off Ozzy, don't play the new Kiss album, and play nothing but Smiths all night long to impress this girl that he's in love with, which is actually based on a true story.
Oh, really? Okay. That leads into the next question is, I mean, obviously there's an obsession over the Smiths. And for you, like you said, you have these younger actors, people learning it. What is it about the Smiths? Like, why? What's the draw in your eyes as a man who enjoys the music?
First of all, the music's unbelievable. Morrissey is a poet, and the juxtaposition of unbelievably depressive or introspective lyrics. He's the perfect amount of melancholy. If you find melancholy romantic, or just to sit in that. Those are the Smiths fans, like nobody gets depression better than him. Nobody gets loneliness. Nobody gets the frustration of loneliness better than Morrissey. And oftentimes there's this, like I said, there's these very introspective lyrics going on with a music style that is the complete opposite, and finding the juxtaposition of those worlds together. I just think, they were one of those bands that, they changed everything. There's kind of before the Smiths and after Smiths. There's a few of those bands, and definitely they are for independent or alternative music, that they are that.
I love that description of wallowing in melancholy. I think that pretty much sums up the Smiths listening experience to a T. But I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
So you worked with a guy, and you're going to have to correct me on the pronunciation because I've seen it pronounced like 1,000 different ways. Stephen Kishak or Stephen Kijak?
Kayak.
Kayak, even better. Oh for 2 on the 2 people that I saw pronounce his name in interviews before. So he's a guy who's worked on music-based movies and shows a lot before. What is his passion like just for the world of music?
Well, he knows, nobody knows it better than him, and music, and nobody knows the Smiths better than him. He is Smith's super fan number one. So, it was important also as a producer to make sure that we weren't making a movie that was going to be accused of being a caricature of the time. We had no interest in doing that. And a lot of 80s movies can slide into caricature. And no, we wanted it to feel authentic so that you felt like you were actually at a house party, in 1987. And mind you, we're also dealing with all of the archetypical tropes that weren't addressed in 80s movies. Maybe Ali Sheedy and Breakfast Club would belong in our movie, but other than that, kind of, underrepresented. Steven was that person. He was in those groups. He was at those parties. A lot of this is like what he remembers in his mind about that time. And so, he was on top of all of the different departments and making sure that this thing was authentic, and that allows you to trust him.
It's always nice to get a voice of authenticity to any movie like this, just because it makes it feel a little bit less,
Got to,
fake. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. If you could hijack a radio station, have them play 24 hours, one band only, what would it be?
I mean, what would I play all day long? If it has to be one band, this is a good idea. That's a good idea. I would definitely put that up there as far as body of work. Other than that, maybe it's tricky, man. Like if I could have gone like Pantera right around Far Beyond Driven, so you only had those albums to work backwards for, then maybe that. But DJ Z-Trip, well, it's not really fair. He's kind of a mashup DJ, but he DJ at my wedding.
The world. So that's March 26th. The other movie we're going to talk about, which we've seen the Justice League, the Zack Snyder's The Justice League. Excuse me. Let me say that the proper way. That is out. This interview, it's out today. Yeah, it's out tonight. If you're listening to this interview on the day this interview drops, it's out tonight. And it is a massive, epic movie on a grand 4-hour plus scale, which the last time we talked to you, we had a couple Snyder Cut comments, but then there was like news that dropped about you the day after we interviewed you. So we unfortunately missed the window by a hair, but it doesn't matter now because we've seen the fucking thing. How excited. I mean, we've talked to you about like how excited you were about everything that involves this movie. The first time we talked to you, there was something you posted on Instagram. People were like, does that mean he's back? Does that mean he's coming back? And now we won't spoil much. We'll keep the spoiler free, but people know your involvement. We've seen pictures and stuff. Now that it's all been done, how happy are you that you were able to go back and do this and even just get a taste again of this character, which we see a figurine of Deathstroke behind you right now in this interview. So we know how much it means to you.
Yeah, I know. Well, that was from Joel McHale. Joel's a buddy, and I'm friends with also Sideshow Collectibles who make those.
Those are the best.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome. So yeah, that was a gift. It was fun to get to go back. Zach and I are working on something else, so that was actually I had been talking to him and seeing him via Zoom for a while up to that point. So, but it was good to go see him. It was fun to put the suit back on. It was, yeah, man, it was fun. It's brief. It's fun. It was, I don't know how much more.
Is it too much of a tease though for you? Or does it make you just go, fuck, I want to do this in full?
Well, yeah, I did. I mean, but after, the string of cancellations that happened in the wake of Batman being canceled, I was cast to be a Batman. So that was actually, I wasn't, like the Justice League tag on at the end was meant to advertise the Batman movie. So, and then you just go I don't need to go into all of them, but there was a ton of movies that didn't happen after that involved the character. And so, you know, you let it go. You know, you can't, you know, I didn't sit around thinking about it. I was on to the next thing. So getting a call years later that, you know, to come put the suit back on. Yeah, that was fun. I mean, it was, like I said, it was a good time.
Yeah, without spoiling, we can say that the movie does set a lot of things in motion. So I feel like it's always with any superhero property, it's a never say never thing. Everything's made up. Anyone can come back to life. Anyone can come back in a different timeline. So anything can really ever happen. After we saw the movie, we noticed in some of the reshoots why you had to have the mohawk. And was that your favorite hairstyle you ever got to sport?
Why I had to have it? I didn't have to have it. It's just that it fit something that I wrote in the Deathstroke origin treatment that I was working.
So do tell.
So the mohawk didn't have to be there. I talked to Zach. I was like, hey, I have this idea. It ties in with this other thing, that I wrote years ago. What do you think? Mohawk? And he was like, yeah, do it. So that was why. And then what was the rest of the question? Sorry.
Just if that was your favorite hairstyle you've ever gotten to rock on screen.
I like the white mohawk. I think that was cool. That was fun. Yeah, that was a good time. The blue ones, that's over the top, but I like the white.
Classy, yeah. It's Silver Fox.
Yeah. Did you speaking of Eisenberg, did you reshoot anything with him, or was that all separately? Yeah.
No, the stuff with Jesse is just the original scene. So you can see that they could zoom further out on him because when you bald cap somebody and you can't just shave their head for a reshoot or shoot. When you reshoot the teaser for Justice League 2, they shot his coverage like this, so that you wouldn't see that he was. You wouldn't, if you zoom out, then it's not going to match with this ball cap. So you can see that they could use some of the medium shots and long shots actually of him. And the dialogue is restored to what we originally recorded.
Have you gotten a chance to watch the whole movie yet?
Yeah, I watched it last week. So Sophia and I sat down and we watched it all the way through 4 hours.
Can you, for those, because we gave our tease. We talked about the grand scale, like what it is, like the mythology, and I know Zack Snyder dove into that a little bit. What for people who haven't seen it yet? What are your takeaways? Like, what can people expect from how big? Like, it's a crazy movie. At least that's how we viewed it.
Yeah, it is. It's you're gonna get. I think the story is fixed where. You understand Steppenwolf's motivations. Also, all of the CGI is really spotless this time around. And you get Darkseid and Desaad. So you get, that ties into the Steppenwolf arc. And then from there, it's pretty cool what they did. You're going to get more questions. I think there's a lot of things in the film that are going to make people curious about what would have happened next or what could potentially happen next. I think that it's going to feed all those real diehard fans. It's like I said, it's just that it's a much better movie.
Agreed. We don't disagree with you on that one. Yeah.
How important do you think it was that Zack Snyder got the opportunity to just kind of do what he had originally wanted to do in the first place?
Well, it's a bit unheard of to get to do that. The only other example is George Lucas going back and tinkering with his own movies, but he owned them all. So for a studio to allow a director to go back in and restore the film, fix the film, this is really, there is no comparison, I think, or there's no comp for that. So, I also was fascinated by to see what Zach would have done or what he wanted to do. Like I said, I think it's a lot of what fans of that film really wanted they're going to get.
That's for sure.
That's what we said. We were like, honestly, and like we enjoyed it. Even if you hate it, anyone who can't see, like, holy shit, the fans are going to go nuts. I just don't think that just might mean, like, I hate saying this, that sounds snobby, but I just think that means they don't get it, because that was my first takeaway. I'm like, oh man, a diehard, they're going to love this. This is everything they want. Justice League, that is out, HBO Max as well. I imagine everyone who's listening to this is going to be checking that out. Though you did mention another Zack Snyder tease. That's something that we know, or is there something that you got going on with Zack that you can't talk about?
It's out there. Okay. No, it was out there. It's floating around. It's the Army of the Dead Las Vegas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Animated series.
Oh, animated series.
Okay.
I didn't know they were doing that.
Okay. So I rare we miss movie news.
Yeah. So that'll drop at some point later on, and it involves a lot of the characters. Well, some of the characters, I should say. Some of them get eaten, but some of them from Army of the Dead, and it's kind of like a prequel equal to the movie, and that'll be later on at some point this year, maybe during the summer, I think.
Oh, I love that.
That was really fun. Really fun.
They just released a Pacific Rim anime series on Netflix that's been awesome. And I feel like animated, like when you're able to kind of like do whatever you want visually and stylistically, because of it, you don't have the same shackles with an animated series as you do with like real life. Like there's just so much more you can go into, and especially something like zombies. I think that's awesome. I love to hear that.
Yeah, and also, a lot of it also is COVID, and we have to pivot, and we have to figure out how to keep bringing entertainment at the highest levels when we couldn't have people getting together to shoot the movie live. So this was actually like a perfect situation.
Yeah, and zombies are pretty close quarter affair usually, as far as actual shooting.
Yeah.
So we've interviewed you a couple times. We got a lot of like the old movie questions out of the way. We've done the Magic Mike. We've done all of that. I had to open it up to our audience a little bit. I had to let our audience ask some questions. We got a bunch of people who want to know your thoughts, because the Dungeons and Dragons movie and like the stuff around that is developing a little more. Have you kept up with that at all? Thoughts on that?
No, I don't have anything to do with it.
Do you I mean, we know you still run your games though. You're like still the man, right? Like you're still the Dungeons and Dragons guy of Hollywood. Is that how you would?
Well, so here's the thing. Like for the past 6 years, I've worked as a consultant. I've worked as a writer and even a game designer for Hasbro. I worked on the new Hero Quest launch. So, I do some fun work with the company and have a streetwear line. And so I'm a licensee. I also created a bunch of characters that appear as figurines with them and in Dungeons and Dragons related video games. So I'm a licensor. So, I have like a lot of fun. It's kind of a fun side hustle for me. In addition to my day job.
It's interesting too, because Dungeons and Dragons, like there's so much and not just that, but like there's a lot of commotion going on in this office right now. But you also have, I don't know what's happening here. You all have like video games, any like role playing, anything like that. They don't always translate to movies, and we see like there's another like Mortal Kombat's coming out. For you, like, do you think there's ever a thing like that where maybe it's not worth touching, because it's like so much of that experience, so much what makes it perfect is because you do have so much more control and there's so much more immersion as opposed to a movie where you're just kind of watching someone do it?
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And I think video game projects traditionally have had trouble because why would I want to watch a story about these people when I can be them? I don't want to watch that character do something. When I'm playing, I feel like I am them. So to me, that's a much stronger set of emotions than watching, So I think kind of figuring that out is the key. And also I think in terms of Dungeons and Dragons, what's tricky is that Dungeons and Dragons has some famous villains because that's what you fight against. But the heroes are you. So there's a real lack of heroic characters other than, say the Dragonlance novels, for example. Like that's, you read these novels about these characters set in the Dungeons and Dragons world. To me, you get more chance of connecting with something like that because the heroes are well defined, and in, you know, in a lot of the cases for those books are New York Times best-selling beloved characters. So to me, like, you know, if I had my druthers, I would start at that canvas, because there's just they have some amazing characters, like, for example, in D&D, but like I said, it's like figuring out how to give you characters that you're actually going to care about. You know, that's the trick. So, you know, they better be really fleshed out.
Oh yeah.
Converting RPGs to movies in general is just kind of hard because you can't really get that same level of immersion. But I agree with you. Going with an existing property where you do have that well-defined protagonist would be significantly easier than trying to build one out based off the existing.
Yeah.
We have another question from a user, Spark Lamore. He asked you to apologize for making kids afraid of high school bullies, because a lot of us growing up in middle school went into high school thinking we're going to have to fight full-grown ass men like you.
Well, then you should be friends with me. Just be cool with me, man. What are you trying to antagonize me right out of the gate, man? That's the last thing I need. Some bar, some dude's gonna try to prove a point to me. You know, it's like, man, be cool, and I'll be cool to you. I used to like threaten to fight kids on the football team because they were beating up and harassing the artistic kids that I was friends with. So, you know, I mean, I was that guy. I was the defender of all of the skateboarders. You know?
So you weren't like Flash in real life, is what you're trying to say.
It's called acting. It's called range.
I love the idea that I like that some kid had never been into a high school before and he only watched
James was maybe 23. Kirsten turned 18 on set, so she actually was the appropriate age, but none of us. No. We had to shave twice a day on set.
Keep the baby.
I'm serious. Yeah. You had to shave before you got there, and then at some point during the day, they would come around with a tray of razors on it.
Oh my god!
And they would want you to just like dry shave it right there in the mirror.
Oh no! Yeah. Obviously, you are a much bigger human than Tony Revolori. I would love when they do this, but when we think it's Spider-Verse in December, love them to be like, "Are you shitting me? In a different universe?"
This is the Joe. It's like the Judge and Altuve picture. It'd be hilarious.
Man.
Okay.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So we have one more. We have all of our audience members asked this, and this is because it's something we had brought up. We need to show you the picture of you. It's your better half doing an ad for a restaurant called Buca di Beppo, and Jeff's going to pull it up, and because it is one of the most phenomenal pictures, I think we
think that Sophia is probably in the greatest restaurant ad of all time. It's the greatest restaurant ad ever put out there, because it's just the most excessive amount of pasta and meatballs we've ever seen. Have you seen this photo before?
No. This is
okay.
Thank you for bringing it to my attention. She will never live it down in my presence ever again. Thank you.
We're big fast food sit down chain people, and we were talking Buca di Beppo. They have like the Pope table, and we were like, holy shit. We discovered it live in the podcast. This is the greatest ad ever.
Looks like we're getting the Pope table, my friend.
200,000 meatballs, and they're all like 10 pounds each. They're like old-timey dumbbells.
I'd be the one eating all of that. So I don't know.
The follow-up on that, because they're like, all right, you've had them on 3 times. You got it. People are like, why do you never bring up the Buca di Beppo photo? But the other follow-up is that she also has won Kids' Choice Awards. And we do love Kids. Do those exist in your home? Do you have the Kids' Choice Awards?
Yeah, she has her stuff downstairs. Yeah, so she's got what are they? Little orange blimp.
Little orange blimp.
Yeah,
the blimp is right below the Oscar statuette in my eyes. That's just my opinion, and maybe it's my age. I just think the blimp is right up there. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, we got some orange blimps down there.
Before we go, now it's time. We're gonna do a little quiz. We're going to see how well you know your roles, how well you know your stuff. Here we go. Mm-hmm. April 2002, Spider-Man premiered at what theater? Do you remember where Spider-Man debuted?
Well, yeah, April 2002. That would have been the UCLA Bruin Theater in Westwood.
Okay, yeah, money. That means
correct.
Seemed rather hard. Okay.
There was a giant inflatable Spider-Man holding to the top of the theater like King Kong. It was cool. And that carpet, that was the biggest carpet ever. I mean, that still to this day, that carpet was massive.
Must have been pretty cool for one of your first movies. All right, next question. In Behind Enemy Lines, Colombia, what was your character's name?
Lieutenant Sean Macklin.
Wow, amazing. That was so quick. I thought you'd have to dig deep. That was not that long ago, but like long enough ago.
That was a fun time, man. That was a great time. That was yeah.
Who directed Smurfs: The Lost Village?
Oh my God. I mean,
this is always hard with voice roles. We always have people stumble on these.
I know, man, because it's like there's like 6 people that I thought directed it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'd be there and be like, oh, hey, you know, and
actors always stumble on this.
Kelly Asbury. Kelly Asbury is the name.
Oh, so Kelly was usually on a monitor. I was talking to Kelly through a monitor. So like in my brain, it doesn't stick. Yeah.
Makes sense. Yeah. All right. No, you're all right. 2 for 3. 2, still good.
Okay.
What is the name of your character in How I Met Your Mother?
What is the name of my
character in How I Met Your Mother?
Ah, Brad.
Brad what?
Shit. Oh, yeah, last name.
Yeah, that's right.
What was Brad's last name? Why did they pick that? Who was it? It's Brad. Oh my God! What episode was it revealed?
His very plain last name. Marshall introduces you. Hey, this is my friend Brad. Oh, you see the pain on your face. It's Brad Morris.
Brad Morris.
Brad Morris. All right.
Why was it Brad Morris? It's weird. Yeah. Okay.
I remember your mother.
Cleared. That's what cleared.
All right, we're 500 now. I'm gonna let you get within 5. Within 5, how many total episodes of True Blood were you in?
12 season start. Those all shows produced, I want to say. So I'm gonna go 18. I'm gonna go. And then I'm gonna go 41.
Oh, 42. Oh man.
Wow. Damn. Amazing.
Okay.
That was well done.
Yeah, get some extra credit on that one.
I'm bleeding out of my nose.
I think this one might be easier. Okay. Who was the coach of the 2009 Stanley Cup winning Penguins?
Sully. No, Sully came afterwards. What am I talking about? Oh, 09.
Close.
Oh, you're not talking about the last one.
Casual fleck, back to back, whatever. Yeah.
I'll give you a first name if you want a hint.
Oh my God, I'm gonna get murdered over this. I don't know why my brain isn't functioning right now. It's not early.
It's hard because he's not part of the back-to-back, so it's tough to feel like syntax it.
But why? But why am I? Why do I not? Why do I not?
First name's Dan.
Oh my God. Hold on. Brain.
You used up all your brain power on the last one. The last one was much harder.
Man, why is my brain not functioning right now?
Dan Bylsma.
Yep, Dan Bylsma.
Bylsma, yeah.
The last time we talked, by the way, I have no Super Bowls as a fan, but the Browns did beat the Steelers. I just wanted to note that.
The Browns did beat the Steelers. We all, nobody's trying to.
Also, Chase Claypool called me a fucking weenie on Instagram. So he called me. I got somebody here filmed me for the Barstool Instagram. I was like, Chase Claypool was saying things about the Browns. The Browns won, and then he tagged me. He goes, "This guy's a weenie." So I got, he roasted me online. Yeah, which I can't say shit to Chase Claypool. I just took the win and I left. I was like, all right, I'm walking away. Browns will beat the Steelers for once. Yeah, I'll take that. Last thing, you won 4 awards at 3 award shows for True Blood. Name the 3 award shows.
I'm gonna look up on my shelf right now. I'm gonna go Scream.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Saturn.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
New Now Next.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. New Now Next. Also, you didn't. This only existed 1 year. I feel like you would have won it. What's the award? What's the Spike TV award?
I think it's just it's the Spike TV awards. But which one? Luckiest Bastard? Or
Coolest
dude? Or like
yeah. Spike TV Luckiest Bastard Award. Now that's an award.
Yeah, they'd be like coolest dude, best bicep.
But when you say it, it sounds like you're saying it with such venom. You know what I mean? Is someone like, wow, here's the luckiest bastard. You like, here's the luckiest bastard award.
Luckiest bastard.
You here, go. I hope you fucking trip and it impales you, you asshole. You know, like that's what it makes it sound like you're saying. You know?
Oh man.
You're the luckiest bastard I've ever seen, you know.
Yeah. Thank you so much again for hanging out with us. Shoplifters of the World, March 26th. Justice League is out. If you're listening on the day this drops tonight, if not, it's already out. Thanks again. Also, reminder, just search your wife's name, Buca di Beppo. Bang, you'll find that picture. You gotta that. Yeah. It's one of the greatest advertisements ever made because it just we will go to Buca di Beppo every time.
Next to the John Leguizamo Sky Vodka, where he has a parrot in a purple silk robe, like unironically, that was pretty good.
Thank you so much. Always a blast. Can't we talk to you again?
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you.